back to Sway TV. I'm your host JJ here on Amazon Live, and I'm so excited!
We're gonna have some fun on the street.
And we're doing Workout Wednesdays here on Amazon Live.
And she is fresh off the set of Shark Tank.
It's such an honor to be here today, so thank you.
We are going to be talking all about parenting.
You have no idea how honored I am to have Mr. Tim Storey making his world premiere right here on Sway TV Live.
Functional medicine is all this stuff. It's integrating things that improve your life.
This is our tribe of women.
I completely agree with you, Kimmy. It starts with being happy with how you look.
What is the key to a successful business?
We made history here on Amazon Live. Would you ask her out again, Michael?
I am so excited for today's Battle Shop Live.
And it's Brad Grunberg. Hi, Brad.
Here we go, here we go.
Get curious! Get curious!
Daisha says, I can watch Sway TV for hours because they are the best. Rosalind just said, this is better than Netflix.
Oh, Naveen says this is better than Netflix. Yes! There's a Tesla. You can actually buy a car on Amazon. That is so crazy. The perfect gift. Yes, we got our Drake's Cake break.
David is live streaming. We got it right up in the corner. I love this.
I am getting a complete body makeover right now.
Oh, that feels so good.
Oh my God, that is the coolest thing ever.
So awesome.
Shake, shake, shake.
Shake your zoo life.
This is fun. Drum roll, please. Dun, dun, dun. So many giveaways here at Sway TV.
And one person's gonna win a PS5. Which one will it be?
Here we go. I'm so excited. I can't even stand it.
And Sam's in the chat says, Sway TV rocks. Woo!
We're still going. Yeah, we don't sleep at Sway.
One of the best comments I've ever received, ever, hands down. PK's gonna love me even more. Look.
I cannot make this up.
We are awarding you with the PS5 as well.
4, 3,
2, 1.
All the time streaming live. We're sharing great products. We're doing great interviews and amazing giveaways.
Amazon, we love you, Amazon. So grateful for you guys and for Sway TV.
Thank you, Sway TV.
Amazon Live, woo!
I've had such a great time with all of you.
Shop attainment all the time.
It is a girl's dream come true for someone like me to be able to give you dating advice and shopping all in one platform.
We in the house, we having fun, we doing the thing, we swaying. Do, do, do. How did this show turn into like a full-on sing-along? This is fun! We love Sway TV! Let's sway!
Let's sway.
Let's sway. Let's sway. Let's sway.
Let's sway. Let's sway.
Let's sway.
Let's sway!
Let's sway.
Let's sway.
Let's sway!
Let's sway.
Let's sway!
Let's sway. Let's sway. Let's sway. Let's sway.
Let's go! Let's sway! Stay tuned! Woo!
Welcome to Sway TV Live. I am Michelle Mitchell, and this is Navigating Your Life. I'm so happy to have you guys here today, and you're spending time with me, and not just me today. I actually have a very, very special guest to share with you, and you guys know how this goes. There's some really great information that we get to share with you. We get to talk about some real tools and techniques you can use in your life to navigate. And then we get to share some products about the stuff that I love, the stuff that I use that helps me navigate through my life. And if they resonate with you, then I'm going to tell you exactly how you can get them. So I have a really special guest today. Her name is Heather Lindeman, and she is the founder of Mama Yurt. And just the word yurt makes me feel like I want to go there and, I don't know, sit in the stillness and the healing. She's got a really beautiful facility in Southern California, and there's so much that happens there, and her wisdom and her depth of knowledge and experience is so vast and far-reaching. I know we're going to get some great stuff from her today, but it really is tip of the iceberg. So without wasting any more time, I want to go ahead and bring Heather on with me. So, and I'm running tech today, tech and talent. So let's get Heather on here. Heather, there you are.
Hello.
Welcome.
Tech and talent.
Tech and talent and beauty.
I'm impressed. And I'm super excited to be here, Michelle. Thank you for having me.
Well, you're welcome. And I just, I know you very well, and you've helped me in so many ways, in so many different spaces or carnations of my life, I guess I should say. And you've had a few yourself. So can you just tell us kind of like, what do you do? And why do you do it? What brought you to this great place of wisdom and helping and healing for other people?
Well, I'd be happy to talk about that. And we have had a few incarnations together, and I certainly have, I love the name of your show. The word navigating is really important. It's really special to me, and it leads into, what do we do? What do I do? Well, I would call myself a helper. I'm a healer of myself and also a guide. I might call myself a teacher as well. You mentioned the Mama Yurt, which is really my office here in San Diego, California.
That's a cool office. It's a real cool office.
I like it. She's been kind of lonely since quarantine, but I think that she'll see some groups here again. But, in the first part of my journey, it was all about identifying the childhood wound and seeing how that plays out in our life. And I think that a lot of people and a lot of your listeners and watchers, they understand that idea of inner child work. And because it was my own journey and my own healing, it became a big focus for me. And when I stepped into doing this as my job, I was an expert on helping people to identify where their childhood wounds were acting out in their life. Mm-hmm. And then in the very, very beginning, I had my very first teacher, really my real teacher, was down in the Yucatan, and we did dream work and lots of internal work and symbol work and things like that. And I had a dream that ended up being, it was for me first, but it ended up being for you and for everyone else. And it is the dream that I teach with and guide with these days. And, maybe we can tell it at some point in our time together, but ultimately it spoke to what part of ourselves we need to be feeding. And it was to feed the wisest aspect of ourselves. The dream ended up, your grandmother will eat first. Because in the dream, I wanted to go back and feed the child. And so these days in my work is completely focused on inner elder work and activating the wisdom that we all carry. We carry it. We don't need to go outside of ourselves. We don't need freaking intuitives and things like that. I mean, they're fun, and can be very helpful, but that ultimately we have the answers. Mm-hmm. And my work these days is helping people find that. I think that, I say that the place that I can help you the most is to help you connect with your own wisdom so you can find your own answers and move from that place. So, and it's a journey.
Right.
It's a journey.
Right.
We're navigating in these interior places all the time.
Well,
so,
I think it's interesting that you say that, because I feel like everything that we're kind of conditioned to do is to navigate out there. Mm-hmm. How will you be? How will you be seen? What will you do? What will you accomplish? And if you're going to accomplish this, then you have to navigate, whether it's college or relationships or having kids, or it's all out there. And it's almost like a false path, I feel.
I agree. I also feel like Well, I mean, we all just sort of have our lane, like you and I were talking yesterday about your lane, right?
Deeply.
Or your place that you see things from, or the place that you touch things from. And my lane would be more like an off-road path, which I really enjoy. And
That's
or the
so interesting, because we did talk about lanes, and mine, like for our purposes, mine was like this paved, relatively easy road. I think it's because I didn't know that, like, kind of that description of what your lane is. So
yeah, it's an off-road path, and the soles of my feet are on it. And if they're not, I know I'm freaking trouble. But I feel like when you're talking about habituation to what's outside of us or going outside of ourselves, I think a lot of it has to do with, just from my perspective, it's an idea, right? I'm not saying like I say this is the truth. It's an idea.
Right.
That because we're no longer being raised in a village or a tribe setting, that we're very disconnected from the constant amount of guidance that's around us within nature. We're cut off from our intuition, our connection to the deeper aspects of ourselves, and our lives have been kind of sterilized and bleached. And a lot of people are sort of like Alzheimer's patients, and meaning we have forgotten. It's it's not a new term. It's the great forgetting. It's the great forgetting. And I really feel like our lives, especially when we get into trouble,
right?
Like what we were going to talk about today, especially when we get into these sticky spots, or we're on our knees, or the elbows are scraped and the knees are bloody, and we're having a really hard time in our lives, is when we have an opportunity to remember. It's when our soul comes knocking and saying, hey, remember me? I've got the answers.
Right.
So
we talked about like what I'm gonna get comfortable, because I feel like we're gonna
get comfortable. Get comfortable.
So we talked about there's so much that we could cover, and what really kept coming up for me, and I thought, what, if it's coming up for me, it's kind of calling to me, and we wanted to talk about forgiveness today. And I think there's a real connect between intuition and forgiveness, right? It's intuitively, I think sometimes we know that that's the path that we should be on with, let's say, a specific person. Like, I'm going to take an example from my life. So like with my daughter, there's multiple times that forgiveness comes into play for me. And it's almost like intuitively I know that I should be forgiving the moment, and then but something, whether it's I should be doing this, or this is, there's like another piece of me that's not allowing to be in that space of forgiveness, and is like, why don't I just stop and have, what is that? And what does forgiveness look like too, right? So, like maybe it's a softer conversation. Maybe it's really being able to hold space and listen and not let something stick on you or whatever. But I think sometimes we get in this like mom mode where, it's like I have to be the taskmaster and the principal and all these things. And forgiveness is not part of my job description when I'm doing those things.
Yeah, forgiveness is a gigantic topic. And when you're talking about your kids, or even the example that you used, there's also, compassion for yourself kind of comes into play too.
Right.
I definitely think, because when I think of forgiveness, I think of like the biggies, like infidelity and, female friendships ending because of gossip, or someone's gone outside of the trust tree,
right?
Think about people being just very, very cruel to you, like these big things, or I don't know, we were talking about childhood wounding in the beginning of like parents, like wounding from your parents, and that lack of forgiveness with parents, for sure too.
Well, I want to point this out, because I always talk about this book, and of course I know you know this book, but it's the 4 agreements. And I had this relationship with my mom that I never fully understood until I read that book. Like I'm a highly educated woman, and been meditating and doing all these things, but it wasn't until I think because I was sitting in meditation and I was forgiving her in meditation, and I was trying, but it wasn't releasing. It was almost like I was kind of going through the motions, but I couldn't really get over that bump. And then sometimes I could kind of fake it. But it wasn't until I read the 4 agreements that I got it. When I read the 4 agreements, I absolutely got it. I think it was the whole thing about, if we look through the lens of everybody's doing the best they can from what they know and where they're at, right?
Yeah, I know. And sometimes that's easier said than done, you know, because I feel like true forgiveness is a happening.
Ooh, tell me about that.
It's like a hand of the divine, or the hand of the sources and the forces, or the hands of your divine board of directors come in, and it's a happening. And until it's a happening, it can be something that's an intellectual thing. It's something that you're trying to do, something that you're pretending to do.
Right. I kind of feel like that. Yeah.
I'll fake it till you make it. And I have to say, I feel like, again, just from my perspective, I feel like one of the disservices that the law of attraction has done for many, many people is zooming them over the actual problem, zooming them over their capacity to be fully authentic with themselves, and set a seat at the table for the part of themselves that lacks forgiveness, and say, you are welcome here. Isn't that the idea?
Would you call that spiritual bypassing? Is that
would
that
sure.
be an accurate?
Oh,
yeah, okay.
For sure. If you're a spiritual person, I would call it spiritual bypassing. If you're, or you could like psychologize it, or the big bob and weave, or just the word pretending.
Yeah.
Just pretending. Like in my work, we make 2 sacrifices that in order for our time together to be sacred, whether I'm working in groups or I'm one-on-one or on Zoom with people from all over the country or whatever. And the 2 sacrifices that we make, if we want something from our time together, if we want it to be sacred, the first sacrifice is no pretending.
I love that.
No pretending. And the second sacrifice is we sacrifice the idea that we're doing this alone. Right?
Wow.
That we're not just at this forgiveness thing alone. And that leads itself into this formula, for lack of a better word. When we're working with forgiveness, it's a way, it's a lane. It's like if we're navigating this territory of forgiveness, we know we're in there because we've walked into it with our backpack filled with a lack of forgiveness, right? So we're in this forgiveness thing, and the formula, like I said, for lack of a better word, is to have the intent that you want to forgive, that you want to forgive this person, or you want to forgive yourself. That's even kind of a tougher one, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Definitely a tougher one, I think, personally.
And then the second thing, it's you have the intent to do it. I really want to have this experience of forgiveness. Second thing is to make the effort. The effort to actually forgive yourself or others. And we can talk about that if you want to or not.
Yeah.
And the third thing is to invite the divine, the sources and the forces, your God or gods or board of directors, right?
Right.
Is grace. So it's intention plus effort plus grace will equal the thing that you're after, the thing that you want. And the effort piece is really where, you can navigate up over the mountains or down in the gullies or wherever your soul wants to take you.
I want to go back to something that you said before the steps, and you said there's the 2 things that you sacrifice as a group when you come together. And the first thing you said was no pretending. And the second thing was, what was the second thing?
You sacrifice the idea that you're doing this alone.
The idea that you're doing this alone. I love that. I feel like that framework of no pretending and that you're not kind of doing it or in it alone. I feel like that would be really beneficial to any friend relationship, any conversation, any interaction, like an interaction with, with your spouse, or, you know what I mean? Like you go in, you're like, hey, listen, it's, it's real talk. Like, we're not going to pretend one way or another, and we're together. So it's not, I'm going to get healed and then take the ball and leave. Like, it's a together thing. Could you use that kind of thinking as you have conversations, like in life,
Yes.
that's not even, just even like the smallest stuff, the smallest conversations, and no pretending. Because I think sometimes, even when things are going well, we're so used to putting on what we think somebody else might want to see. And we're so used to being this thing that we were conditioned for, that we still put it on. We still pretend in a way. And I love that. I'm really going to implement that, kind of like have that hanging in my space as a reminder to be more authentic, because I really think that no pretending is huge. Is huge.
And the most important part of the no pretending, I really want to stress this, is first and foremost, it's no pretending with yourself. Right?
That's amazing.
It's no pretending with yourself. And so it's the idea of authenticity, right? It's between you and you, or again, you and the sources and the forces, or whatever you call.
I like when you say board of directors.
Okay. Because it's my board of directors, It's
pretty cool.
You and I actually probably have some of the same board of directors, right? I'm sure of one of them for sure.
Yeah.
But, and it can get dicey and it can get sticky, and there's a shadow side to everything. So there's a shadow side to authenticity, and a lot of spiritual communities use authenticity as a dagger, right? They're like, I really want to have this authentic conversation with you, Michelle, because really, the way you're behaving is really unacceptable to me, and I just want to be authentic about that. That's not it. That's not it.
Right,
and that's not that's not what happens when I work with people, for sure. The idea is that there's no pretending with ourselves. And for some people who are so uncomfortable with who they are, or so habituated to, like you said, wear the costume or morph into who they think they need to be. And of course we do that for all kinds of reasons from childhood, that can be very alarming for people. It can be very alarming for people to be like, oh, I can't, did you see what I just did there? Like, oh, I can't I can't say that word I was just going to say.
Right.
Like, oh, I can't be, I can't hide.
Right.
I can't hide. But it is one of the most important pieces of forgiveness, because underneath, like if there's a lack of forgiveness with someone that's hurt you, that especially if you're an adult, because this is a very adult conversation, right? How do we resolve this when we have lack of forgiveness? Is that I always ask, same, but different, has that happened to you before?
Oh, say that again.
Okay. So I'll use myself as an example. This almost 2 years ago, I had one of my dearest friends. I've been friends with her for 15 years, maybe almost 20 years. And we had like a thing. We had like a serious thing, like every relationship does, right? Friendships, as you know, are not immune to this.
Right.
We had a serious thing. And this is my job, and this is my work, and this is my life, and I am a freaking normal human being. And just like normal human beings, my first hack is blame, just like everybody else's. It's like, not me, it's you. And all the story, and outside. And then I find my way back to myself. I find my way back to my internal elder and the wisest part of me. I will find my way back to her for sure. And in doing so, I got to see that same, but different. So it's not exactly the same, but what is the same is the feeling, is that my mother, right? I had the same feeling and almost exactly the same experience. Two different people, with
Right.
my mother, because I was like, why can I not forgive my friend for doing this?
Right.
I cannot. And for me, you know, I'm decently authentic with myself. I can say, I'm holding a grudge. I don't forgive today.
Right. Right.
Okay. But why? And then I'm like, she is wearing the face of a really old wound. So the cool thing about that navigation is that it took me to the root, and it took me to the right place to do the right work, you know, with my, not one-to-one with my mother, because unfortunately my mom has passed. Right. So,
Right.
and even if she was alive, it probably wouldn't be with her. It's with me, because that's where it lands.
Right.
And once I had done that work and I came back to her, I was able to see it for what it was, right? So forgiveness sometimes can be very, very hard, because what's piled onto it is something that's not even,
doesn't even belong there.
doesn't even
Doesn't
belong to
belong
the
there.
person you're
Right.
upset with.
So so we've got our viewers watching, and I want, you know, maybe if you guys that are watching can take a minute and just maybe think of what's going on in your life and what's going on for you and your relationships, and if there's possibly, you know, a rub that you might have with someone, or you know, just an irritation or a grudge. Maybe it's an all out, you know, it's like a steel door. Ponder on that for a second, and maybe ask some questions. You know, where does that really belong, or where is it coming from, or where is it same but different? Right? So where was same but different? So where maybe did you have that feeling somewhere before in the past? And because the possibility is maybe it doesn't, like you said, maybe it doesn't all belong to that person. And I'm assuming that you won't really be able to melt that away until you recognize maybe where that's coming from as a whole. So if you guys out there are watching, if you can just take a minute and think about that, because as we talk and as we continue, we'll have those, and maybe Heather, go over those steps again, those forgiveness steps again. And then you guys at home, you know, jot this down or catch it on the replay, because the things that we talk about they land differently at different times. So sometimes you'll hear a little bit of it, and then you listen to it again. Oh, I missed that. Or, you know, you look back at your notes and it all comes together. So can you quickly, or just have a look at those steps again? I really loved that part. I think you had like 3 or 4 steps in there.
Yeah. And there is one more too. So we'll have
Sure.
another one when we're done with this, but I'm happy to recap.
Yeah.
So when first of all, when we recognize, right, like that you have the desire, you want to forgive someone, or you recognize that you have this like deep lack of forgiveness, like you said, like steel door, it's budging. The recognition in and of itself,
Yeah.
I think is wisdom. The awareness in and of itself, I think is wisdom at play, because you can be totally unconscious of it, you know, completely unconscious of it.
So that's something, you guys, that's something that you can celebrate, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a win. Even in the awareness and the recognition of it, it's a win. You're moving in
It's
the
a
right
win.
direction, just to even
100%.
see it.
I just got goosebumps down my back.
Yeah.
Just to be able to even see it. I had this woman, I'm going to tell you a quick story, and then I'm
Yeah.
going to recap the
Yeah,
steps.
yeah.
I had this woman in a huge women's circle I'd facilitated years ago. And this older woman, this beautiful gray hair, this like stunning woman in her 70s, you know, who'd obviously done like a ton of work on herself. Like she was just this pillar in the circle. And we were talking about forgiveness. It was like circle on forgiveness. And it got to her, and she said, I don't forgive my sister, but I'm not someone who doesn't forgive. But I don't forgive my sister, but I am not someone who doesn't forgive. I am a forgiving person. And so I said, just keep saying it. And she was like, but I don't forgive my sister. And she was trying to add in that, but I'm not an unforgiving person. And I said, say it again. but I don't forgive my person, but I don't forgive my sister. I don't forgive my sister, because her persona was, I am a forgiving person. That was like, like her banner, like, Miss North Carolina. She was like,
I'm the forgiver.
I'm the forgiver.
Right.
I'm the forgiver. And so when she finally had this awareness, Michelle, and she was like, I am someone who doesn't forgive. Like, I lack forgiveness. The awareness and the authenticity in and of itself broke the steel door. It literally broke the steel door. So to recap so far, we started off with talking about a formula for forgiveness. It's also can be a formula for surrender. It can be a formula for authenticity if you can't do that. But it's intention, setting the intention, I really want to have this experience. Plus your effort. And I think we're going to talk about lots of different ways that the effort can happen today. And grace, right? And that ties into, in order to do that, we have to be able to sacrifice pretending, right? And proceed with the idea that we're not doing this alone. That plays into that formula, I think.
Yeah. And I just, it's like, how do you guys want to show up? How do you guys want to show up for your life? Because we get to make this choice. We get to choose how we want to show up. Whatever, we were conditioned, we have certain circumstances, all those things are true, but we still have choice, and we can show up in the most authentic, amazing ways that are true to ourselves. And as Heather and I talk about this, I want you to ask yourself the question, how do you want to show up? Because this forgiveness piece you will stumble over it and stumble over it and stumble over it over and over again. It really, I believe, is one of those foundational practices that you never move away from, and you always have to kind of check back in with yourself. So I want you guys to ask yourself, as we're talking, how do you want to show up? And where does forgiveness land for you? And two things that I want to repeat again, and that's the commitment to not pretend and not pretend to yourself, and the commitment to know that you're not alone and you're not in it alone. We are a part of a greater collective. Energetically, we are not separate. So I want you to ask your question. How do I want to show up? What am I doing? And this is one of the if you haven't asked yourself this question before, this is a wonderful, wonderful place to start.
Yeah, I totally agree. And something just, I remembered something, or dawned on me from my own journey is, and I wonder if you would agree with this, is, just because you're efforting or choosing, right, to show up and say, I'm ready to forgive this person, or my intention is to try and forgive this person who has hurt me in some way, who I have been hurt by, right? It doesn't mean that what they did is okay.
Right. And I think this is confusing for people. I think this is confusing. I actually had somebody say to me, I was talking about blame a few episodes ago, and somebody, and there was a little bit of, there was forgiveness in that space. And they said, when you said to forgive, that they actually got a physical, like how dare, why would I forgive this thing? And until they realized that the forgiveness was really for them. But yeah, absolutely. I absolutely agree. Yeah.
That second piece, when we were doing the recap about becoming aware, it's part of the work, right? It's part of the work. It's like same, but different. Same, but different. Because we know how it feels. Has this happened to me before? Here I am battling it out with someone, in my heart, and not forgiving them and having a tough time. It's just a place to look. Like I just call them doors. Like, let's just look down here and see first, if same but different, this has happened to you before, you've had this feeling before. And a really easy way to whittle that down just to see is to go, this at the end of the day with this person, I ended up feeling like what? Right?
Okay. I love this. I love this. And I want you to jump back in, but I actually want everybody to do this exercise.
Okay.
If they're in a space to do the exercise, you guys are going to get so much benefit from walking through this, and you can absolutely do it later. So say that again. So like you're going to walk me through the exercise.
Yes. And so like me with my friend. So Michelle, I want you don't have to say it out loud.
Right.
Just arrive at someone in your efforting to be fully and completely honest with yourself. No pretending.
Okay.
That you currently do not forgive, that you have a lack of forgiveness for. You have a lack of forgiveness for.
Oh, it's tricky because I think it hides a little bit.
Yeah, it can hide with it. So would it be easier if I used my friend as an example?
No, I'm going to find somebody.
Okay, girl, go get it.
Yeah, no, I want the benefit of this. I want to feel the
Okay,
benefit
could be a place where it could be a place where intuitively something around work or past work or...
I have it.
Okay, here we go.
I've got it.
Okay. So I want you to think of this person.
Okay.
And no matter what, you always ended up feeling like what with this person?
Ooh, yeah. Even if it's over a long period of time.
Oh, definitely. If it's a long period, even better.
Yeah. So it could be like everything's going well, and then like 6 months later, I'm like, oh God, here we are again.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So you've got that feeling.
Okay. Oh yeah. Ooh, I don't like it.
Yeah, of course not.
I don't like it. How about you guys out there? Where are you at? Do you guys have that?
No matter what, you always ended up feeling. Are the listeners, do they have something?
Yep. Okay. You guys got your thing? Okay. So I know the feeling does not feel good. I'll tell you that right now.
All right. So, so first of all, let's just, give it a seat at the table, that feeling.
Okay.
Okay. We've got this, that's that field of, I'm blanking. Okay. So I'm going to keep going because I'm blanking on that word. No, I needed more lion's mane this morning for my memory.
Is that what lion's mane does? Maybe I need some lion's mane.
Oh, lion's mane is the best for memory. It's the best. I just probably didn't have enough this morning.
Oh, I should have put that in the Amazon cart next week.
Of acceptance. The field of acceptance. Okay. We've got to talk about that, but we're not at this moment. So you have that no matter what, you always ended up feeling like X, and now you actually have the visceral or the body feel of that, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And
exactly.
Close your eyes. Just close your eyes. We're just going to set a seat at the table for that feeling, Michelle. It's welcome. It's welcome. It's welcome. You don't have resistance. Welcome. And now, let's ask your soul. Same, but different.
Okay, so I'm asking my soul, same, but different. So everybody at home, you are giving that uncomfortable feeling a seat at the table, and then you're asking yourself, when have I felt this before? Is that right, Heather?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, similar.
When have I had a similar? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, the story's not the same. When same, but different. When have you felt this before? Or have you felt this before? I guess that's the question.
That's a really good question.
Have you felt this?
Ooh, I don't think so. Wait a minute. I really have to ask myself this question.
Same, but different. Again, it's just a doorway. It's not always.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this seems to be like the one space.
Okay.
Maybe not.
All right.
I think like I don't know, but like I intuitively kind of know that I've felt that before. Yeah.
And sometimes it doesn't arrive right away. I call it like chewing on it a little bit. Like sometimes it's an inquiry that we can kind of carry around with us throughout the day. It's like, gosh,
see what comes.
Really big thing. So have I felt this way before? So we can actually find the original place, and then we would focus on that place first. That place first, and doing some resolution work or some forgiveness work with that.
Right.
which will unburden the person that's in front of you that you still lack the forgiveness
Well,
from.
even just the awareness of thinking that I'm putting all this on this person and it doesn't all belong to them already helps me feel softer towards that human. I mean, I still have that feeling, but it kind of is starting to soften the edges on that a little bit for me.
Yeah. Good. Good.
Really
Which is
powerful.
a great step. It's a great step towards
Yeah.
towards forgiveness. I want to swing back because it has to do with what you were just saying about the field of acceptance.
Okay. I like those words. I like those words.
The field of acceptance, and it exists inside of us, right? And so it's this idea that forgiveness and lack of forgiveness exist together. And they together, right? They live in the field of acceptance together.
Okay.
But that our
okay.
mind, okay. hold on.
Forgiveness and lack of forgiveness coexist
inside of us. And if they don't, this is just an idea, right?
I like it.
If they don't coexist, meaning you're someone who can say, I lack forgiveness at times or for this person, right?
Right.
And I also can forgive, right? And have forgiven and have had the true experience of forgiveness, right? Right. But if you're like my client in the big circle and she was like, I'm a forgiving person and could not accept or articulate or be honest with herself that she lacked forgiveness. The second she saw it, forgiveness started to happen.
Right.
Because she was in this field of acceptance. So there's this idea that the things that you can't accept about others, also another place to look with forgiveness. If the person that you lack forgiveness for, have you done the same thing they've done to other people?
So this is great, and I'm so glad that you brought this up, because what does not being a forgiving human do to our health? What does not being a forgiving human do to our perception of the world, our filter, how we move through? I mean, I feel like it's something that, that can cause so many difficulties and so many challenges.
You know what? The number one thing that a lack of forgiveness and a deep grudge will do to your body is create inflammation or inflammatory diseases.
Oh my gosh, you have to repeat that.
Because if you think about it, I'll repeat it. So the number one thing that lack of forgiveness or holding a grudge or having anger towards someone, and all those things can go into that Molotov cocktail of lack of forgiveness, is like a big bomb, right?
Right.
It creates inflammation and inflammatory diseases in the body.
And what is the number one thing that's happening around human beings right now? Inflammation. It's the foundation of all these, dis-eases that we're experiencing tag back to inflammation. Wow, that's kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah. At least that's what I've seen in my practice, with my clients, and in my own life.
Okay, so back to the field. They coexist together.
Okay. I'm going to tell you a quick story.
Yes,
Can
please. Yeah, I'm loving this. I think everybody is loving this. So just keep going.
Okay, good. So here we go. So I was facilitating this. I used to facilitate this kind of meditation work with my husband, and we did groups and stuff like that. And it attracted a lot of like spiritual people who really were just like pretending and wearing the costume and just like pretending, so hard to be something that they weren't, and were just completely unwilling. Like they were just like reading these scripts and playing this perfect spiritual person out, and then I would come along and just like tell them that they needed to see themselves completely, and they didn't like me very much. It wasn't really my crowd. Let's just say it that way. But we were doing this process. The people were in a process, and I was sitting there meditating. And at the time, I was dealing with this huge grudge and anger and lack of forgiveness over my father. My father, who had a tremendous amount of rage. Okay. I grew up with a raging daddy, which I know a lot of people have. So I was kind of in it with him, like he and I had been arguing or something was going on. So here I am facilitating this thing, these people in the process, and I'm sitting there in meditation, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, okay, I saw my own personal field of acceptance. And we weren't talking about acceptance. We weren't talking about anything, you know, it was whatever. And I saw this place where there was like the gods and the angels, and it was beautiful.
Right.
And all these parts of myself that I accepted, you know, were there. And they were all like having this great like party, like, you know, that I'm funny and I'm a pretty good teacher and all these things that I accepted about myself and liked about myself. They were all there doing their thing. And then outside of this field of acceptance came like they were kind of like, I don't know, like monsters sort of. And it was like rage and lack of forgiveness and grudge holding. And they were like marching up the walkway to come into this sanctuary in my heart. And at the doorway was my mind or my ego, right?
Mm-hmm.
The good, bad, right, wrong, in the past, in the future, can't be present, right? All those things.
Right.
That's the gatekeeper. And it's standing at the doorway of my own field of acceptance. And these kind of like, kind of things, creatures were like, we want to come in. We want to come in. And the ego was like, no, you can't come in, right? And the gods, my board of directors inside my field of acceptance became aware that these parts of myself were trying to get in. And they said, open the gates. Right? Open the gates, let them come in. And these parts of myself that had been so, you know, relegated to the shadows and not paid attention to and hated came into my personal field of acceptance. And the lack of forgiveness grabbed the hand of forgiveness, and rage grabbed the hand of peace. And they formed this circle. And I tell you what, rage, it didn't change. Right? It didn't come in to change and become light and bright and perfect and beautiful. It just got to be what it was within this field of me, right? Within this field of me. And that was the point when my healing started happening with my father.
Field of
that
acceptance.
It was the field of acceptance. And it wasn't like these parts of ourselves are going to turn into these light, bright, beautiful, wheat blowing things.
Right, right.
Starry, shiny, bright things. They get to stay, right? They get to stay kind of tough.
Yeah.
They get to stay how they are. So anyways, that's my.
No, I love that story. And I love it because we are, you know, we're never done. We're never there. You know, it's this always learning and this unfolding wisdom. And it's not all going to be like, you know, like those wonderful images that we see, these meditation pictures where it's just all light and, you know, it's like those are lovely and wonderful, but we are that contrast, right? Yes. We exist, you know, with that contrast. So I want to ask the people that are watching, our audience and our guests and our super fans, because we definitely have some super fans, let's start this practice with us. You know, who do you want to forgive? You know, and just hold that in your mind. You can start real small. You don't have to go big, but just kind of put that in your mind somewhere as we continue to chew on this information. Just see if you can, you know, maybe find somebody to start doing some of these practices with, and seeing what happens in your life, you know, as for yourself and the people around you. So I absolutely love that story. And I get it. And I also get how tough it is to allow that.
Yeah. And that was a happening. Remember we talked about that earlier? Like that was a happening. Like
yeah.
It just
say that again. Talk to me about the happening again, because you said forgiveness is a intellectual exercise, and then
yeah. Ultimately, I think it's a happening. I think it's a hand of the divine, or the hand of greater, or a hand of the sources and the forces that come down and flick that last little piece so that you can have that experience of forgiveness, right? It's not And forgiveness itself is a presence, and it's a being. It's like love. It's like, I don't get to like give you love or take love away, right? I don't get to give you forgiveness or take my forgiveness away. It's a presence. So it moves in, right? I think it moves in and touches us, but we have to have the intention. And I think that for me, at least, the journey or the navigation is to see, like, is there some unresolved business here that's attached itself to the person that I currently don't forgive?
Is there some unresolved business here that I've attached to the person I don't forgive? Yeah. Okay, so finding that person that you want to practice this forgiveness with and asking that question, is there some unresolved something here that I'm attaching to this person? Like, these are great questions for you guys to jot down, because as you go through the rest of the week and into next week, once Heather and I have this conversation with you, it's like planting a seed. You can't really unsee it. It's going to stay with you, but it's going to stay with you to better your human experience. So it's worth taking some notes, and it's worth, kind of going through the motions of the practice, because even going through the motions of the practice will create some enlightenment. So I love that.
Yeah. And Michelle, I just have to acknowledge you for, this is such powerful work. I tell my clients that this exact work that we're doing together today is called swallowing razor blades.
Oh, wow.
This is not easy work. And so I want your listeners to know, to please take care of yourself. We have to be very careful with ourselves when we're doing this work of seeing ourselves clearly in this no pretending zone work. And it's tender territory. And, there's a couple of things that we can do for ourselves while we're navigating deep, into the deep self like this, and these deep places. Is one of them is, I would encourage your listeners, if they're really going to take some of this seriously, is to keep beauty close. Well, you're doing
beauty close.
Keep beauty close, and something that you can recognize as beautiful. Like I'm seeing these flowers behind you. Those are so beautiful, right? Or something that you can instantly acknowledge, and you can say, okay, this is beautiful. Because what happens with this forgiveness work is at some point that it shifts from the focus on the person and what they did to hurt you, and it shifts back to ourself. And so this next exercise is really, really important, to be very tender and kind with yourself. This is a deep end of the pool exercise. Should I give it?
Well, I'm going to remind everybody that you're watching Sway TV Live. And we want you to go on to swaytvlive.com and click that follow button so that you can engage with Heather and I. My name is Michelle Mitchell, and this is Navigating Life. And we are here to share tools and techniques for navigating life in a mindful way, to really kind of help you live more mindful moments that lead to a more meaningful life. We are in it together. And Heather, said it best, is we're not alone. And we have to be intentional about it. We have to really find out, check in with ourselves. How do we want to show up? Because it's like grown-up time. How do you want to show up? No one's going to come in and say, hey, I need you to show up this way or that way. You're the only one that can decide how you're going to show up. You're the only one that can do the work. You can read the books, and you can watch this, and you can do tons of stuff, but you're the only one that can do the work. So really, how do you want to show up? This is your shot in this physical plane that we know of. This is your experience, and it's all for you. And you can have it any way you like, but you've got to design how you're going to show up in order to receive the things that you are looking for in this life. So I'm speaking with Heather Lindeman, and she is talking with us today about forgiveness. And she just said we're jumping into the deep end of the pool. So if you're just tuning in now, we are getting into the deep end of the pool. So let's go, Heather. I'm ready.
All right, let's go. Let's go. Boy, you said that so well. This is our shot, right? In this life that we know of. This is our shot. Yep. And the point that you made about this is like grown-up time. This is grown-up work. It's so incredibly important, because a lot of times we don't even realize that we're operating from this inner child self. We don't even realize that the territory of forgiveness is being held by our inner child and by that wounded child. And we need to figure out our ways to get forgiveness out of her or his clutches and put it in the hands of our inner adult or our inner elder, because they are the ones who know, that part of us that knows how to proceed forward, right? How to still lay boundaries with people that have hurt us in the past, what forgiveness really means, how it really happens. You know, gosh, that was such a good point.
Well, I don't want this to get lost, because we talk about inner child all the time. And what I just heard you say was inner child, adult, and inner elder. It's almost like a spectrum.
Yeah. Oh, it's an absolute spectrum.
And there's wisdom in all those places. And I think what's really great about your work is that you have the, like, to take the, you know, what's helpful from each space in order to design the life that we want to live. So yeah, absolutely. So I'm ready to jump into the deep end, I think.
All right, let's go deep end.
Okay, you guys ready? Let's go.
Okay.
Heather's going to take us into the deep end.
And if you happen to have a pen and paper handy, go for it. If not, get one later and re-listen to this.
Well,
but
I definitely have.
This is going back to that doorway where we were looking in to see if the person that you lack forgiveness with, right? Have you also done the same things, right?
Okay.
So
I'm making some notes here.
Okay, write the person's name down. Step 1.
Okay, got it.
Write their name down.
Okay, everybody got it? Write the name down.
Write their name down.
Okay, cool.
Write their name down. Okay. And now we're gonna leave our, you know, like perfect spiritual people behind. We're coming into honesty and authenticity. This is between you and you. Nobody else is gonna see this list. And you are gonna let it rip about words that you would use to describe this person.
Okay.
Or so words that you would, go ahead.
So I'm just going to, because we've got some people that just logged on. So what you're going to do is you're going to write down the name of the person that you want to forgive. Right?
Or the person that you lack forgiveness for.
So the person you lack forgiveness for. You're going to write that name down. And then you're going to do what?
And then you're going to connect with them, and not in this, they're doing the best job that they can place, right? Because remember, we're on a dig, we're on a hunt here.
Right.
Okay. We're not in the spiritualizing. We're not we're not going to bypass it. We're not going to law of attraction it. We're going to let it rip. And you're going to start writing down words that you would describe this person or what they did to you, right?
Ooh, but it feels yucky, Heather.
I know it does, but let's go.
Okay.
I told you this is the deep end of the pool.
Okay. Ooh. Like what they did to me or how I feel about them.
Yeah. Yes.
Or all of it.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Because I have some resentment.
Yeah.
So I write that down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay. All right.
You know, and it's what they did to you or how you feel about them.
How I feel they treat me.
Yeah. 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 What they did to you, like, or they are backstabbing. They are two-faced. They are punitive. Opportunists. They are opportunists, right? Okay. They are abusive. They are
self-serving.
Right? Self-serving. Let's go. Right? They are naive. They are, codependent.
Narcissistic.
They are narcissistic. Okay. This is deep end of the pool.
Apparently, I don't know how to spell narcissistic.
That's all right.
Okay.
That's all right.
It fixed it for me. This person sounds terrible.
Okay.
And I don't think they're that terrible, but it sounds terrible.
Okay.
Okay.
So, how are your listeners? Is there anybody that's doing this with us right now?
Yeah. So we've got some people doing it with us right now, and they're good. We're gonna keep on keeping on. We got a good got a good roll going. So we've written down the name of the person that we lack forgiveness for.
Yes.
And then we've made a list of how we feel about them or how they make us feel.
Yeah, what they did or what type of person they are, what they do, like what upsets us about them.
Right. Okay, that's where we're at. That's where we're at.
Okay, that's where we're at.
Yeah.
And the reason we're doing it, if people have just gotten here, the reason we're doing this, if you've just gotten here, you have arrived with us at the deep end of the pool. We started on the shallow end. Like maybe just take a deep breath and watch for a second, because we've navigated ourselves here, right?
Yep.
So here we are. And earlier, again, if you've just gotten here, earlier I was talking about how this work, I call it swallowing razor blades, because ultimately
oh my gosh, these kind of feel like razor blades. What I just wrote down kind of feels like razor blades.
So here we go. So we're about to swallow some razor blades. Are we ready? Okay.
Okay.
Cross their name out and put your name.
What?
Yeah. Cross their name out. Write your name.
Heather.
And circle aspects of this list that you can see in yourself. Okay? Razor blade time. And circle. Right? I know, things get real quiet.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be all of it.
Oh, it's all of it.
This is heat. This is the heat right here.
It's all of it.
This is the heat.
This is not fun.
Okay, I know it's not fun.
This is all of it. I actually, yeah. Yeah.
All right. The things that you have circled, the places on this list that you can see that in yourself, those are the parts of yourself that you lack acceptance for.
What?
These are the parts of yourself that are currently not residing in your own personal field of acceptance. It is one of the reasons that people like this show up in our lives, to show us, to mirror back to us, right? And it's one of the reasons why it gets after us so much. It's just a reason. We're just looking down a door, like a dungeon door. We're just looking down the door.
Right,
okay?
right.
Okay? That it's possible that these are aspects of yourself that you are unwilling to recognize.
Wow.
That I'm not saying they're at play all day long. I'm not saying front all day long. I'm saying they want to be seen. And the sooner we can see them and say, and take the razor blade.
Because I did say, I said my things out loud. Okay, we were using me as an example. I said narcissistic. I said self-serving. I said opportunist. And now Heather's making me swallow those razor blades right now.
Yeah.
Because I have been all those things. I'm not all those things like all day long, but I have been all those things. Wow.
Mm-hmm. And it starts to create a circle, because what I have found for myself and I've seen in my clients is that once someone can do this deep end of the pool work and see it in themselves too, and it can move, or we can just at least give it a seat at the table and go, all right,
I see you.
I have somebody in my life right now that just like takes me down, and he's really controlling, just wants to control everything. I write this list down, and that's the first thing I circle about myself. Wow. And then I get to look at the area of my life that I'm trying to control. Right. Yeah. And then, so when I start to do my own work, I'm unburdening this cat from having to take me down and to upset me, because the power sort of goes away.
Right.
The power goes away. And then sometimes when we do this work, sometimes, not all the time, because all the circumstances are different, that once we've come back to ourselves and really done the work in ourselves, what really needs to happen with that other person might just be boundaries from this point forward, but the charge is gone because you've gotten to the root. Just not always, but sometimes.
Well, I love, okay, so here's what I'm feeling as we're kind of talking, and I'm just kind of having this recognition of the list and like changing the name. And is, again, it's like that. It's kind of like a softening or a resonance with that person. Like, you're not so foreign from me. You're not so detached from me.
Say that again.
You're not so foreign from me. You're not so detached from me. So I can't really throw this at you without throwing it at me.
Bingo.
Wow.
Bingo.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Bingo, bingo, bingo. And I really want to stress that that process, right? That process. Like if there is someone and you're watching in your life, like if there has been sexual abuse, if there has been physical trauma, right? We don't do this process with those people.
Right, right.
That is for
something else. Yeah.
Work with your trauma therapist, work with a licensed professional, right? That's very tender territory.
Right.
That is very tender territory, right? What I'm talking about here is interpersonal relationships, co-workers, partners, parents with woundings from childhood that are not in that territory of trauma and abuse. Okay. Right. I just want to make that. I make that.
And I'm glad you did that, because as we do anything, you know, with all the mindfulness and the meditation stuff that we do, it's important to say that, because there are situations that call for other modalities. There are situations that call for other expertise. And we want everybody to be safe and feel, you know, supported and get the right information. So it is important to say that. I'm glad that you mentioned that.
Yeah.
And then if you guys listen, I want to just remind you that we want you to go to swaytvlive.com and hit that follow button so that you can interact with Heather and I, and that you can support our conversation here as we talk about, like, one of the most important things. And I kind of look at it like blame as well, where I'm like, it's kind of like the elephant in the room. Like, we talk about forgiveness like it's easy and that it happens all the time. And I mean, real forgiveness, and to really get to that space, it's one of the foundations. I think you have to be a person that can go through the process. And I don't want to just say you have to be this forgiving person, because it all takes process, and there's different levels of forgiveness. We talked about, you know, there's like the small stuff, and then, you know, there are bigger things. And sometimes the small things can ramp up, you know, to the big things if we don't catch them. So we talked about, this is, you know, how do you guys want to show up? Like, this is your opportunity to live a meaningful life, to live the life that you want to live. And if you want to do that, you've got to address certain things to create a strong foundation. And forgiveness is one of them. So it's the forgiveness practice, because it's this thing that you're going to practice over and over again. And I love how you said, you know, this kind of starts with yourself. Like, how are you forgiving yourself? And I think for me, I was like, of course I forgive myself. I don't hold any grudges for myself. I'm awesome. Like, you know what I mean? Like, of course I forgive myself. And then, you know, and then I hear what I say to myself in my head.
Oh, gosh.
Right? And then I'm like, well, no, I don't forgive you know, I'm beating myself up. So no, I'm not forgiving myself. And I think that, like you said, I think that's harder than even, you know, forgiving somebody outside of you. So
forgiving yourself for getting into the situation in the first place, or
like, not like, oh my God, I'm so stupid. Why did I do that? Or, you know, or even, so here, you know, cause we're doing all this stuff, and we're doing all this stuff via video. And if you guys could see the studio, I mean, there's like screens and lights and mics and all this. And I'm so not used to that. I'm so very used to speaking with people, as my daughter says, IRL, you know, in real life. So I'm learning. So she'll probably not be happy about me saying that, but, you know, this is like so different. So I'll do something on a show and I'll be like, oh, you know what I mean? And then like I walk away thinking, oh, I did that, or I shouldn't have done that. And that's even like a little that can mess you up too, and that can stick
definitely
in your space. So, you know, I think that it's almost like you got to kind of be like, oh well, you know what I mean? It's like kind of reframing it and forgiving yourself for, I guess, having grace. I think that's what you said earlier.
Yeah. Inviting grace and proceeding in this territory with the utmost of care for yourself.
You know, Heather, you say like you say things sometimes, and just the way that you stack your words changes it like profoundly. And I say having grace, and you say inviting grace. And for you guys that are watching at home, think about those two ways. Just like take a moment, like just take kind of a centering moment right now. And I want to see if you guys feel what I feel, like I'm experimenting on you. Okay. So everybody at home, just kind of take a moment and maybe just take a deep breath in and let it go. Maybe just like give yourself a little neck roll here. Heather and I sure need one being in front of the screen. I guess you guys too. Think of the phrase having grace. And see how that feels. And now think of the phrase inviting grace. And see how that feels. Okay, float open your eyes. Do you feel the difference in that? It's like having grace and inviting grace sounds like something I can do. Having grace feels like something, wow, I don't like that it feels big, especially in the moment that you need the grace to say, have it, have grace. Via inviting grace almost sounds like, wow, grace can start to seep in gradually. That feels so much better for me. Just that.
I'm so happy.
Tweak of the words. So I'm going to say that I'm not going to say have grace anymore. I'm going to say invite grace because I think it feels better.
Invite grace. It's also that end part of that formula we were talking about earlier too, the intention plus effort plus grace, but we have to invite it in.
The intention
to forgive self or others, specifically on a certain thing. The effort. And some of these things we've done today are the effort. The list is certainly the effort.
I'm going to, because I have to write this down because you guys, I'm going to post about this later because I think Heather's really, I mean, this is so, you're serving so deeply today, and I'm grateful for it. And I just like, I think people are going to, so the first thing we want to do is we want to have the intention. Celebrate that for us, right? To be like, 100%. You know, I'm going to have the intention to forgive in the right direction.
Oh, absolutely. Whatever we would call greater than us, right? Is right there with us. We have our ancestors that are right there with us. We're standing on the shoulders of our ancestors, and we are surrounded by the sources and the forces that are there to support us, guide us. Nature is there to guide us. So that's the beginning. That's the entry point and that's when I'm working with groups, especially, and we stand outside of the door of the yurt here in San Diego, before we even go in for a program, you know, nobody gets to come inside until we have all made that agreement for ourselves. And then we can cross the threshold. And that's what we do with forgiveness work is we then cross the threshold into the territory of forgiveness. And we have to be hyper aware of who's in charge of that, who's holding the territory of forgiveness. Is it our inner child or wounded child, you know, or hands of an adult or our inner elder?
Yeah. Awesome. We've got intention to forgive, and we've got
effort. We're
and
talking about some of these efforts. And then the last piece is grace.
And I like invite grace.
Invite grace. It circles back to the idea that we're not doing this alone.
Yeah, 100%. Oh my gosh, this is so fantastic. You guys are watching SwayTVLive.com. Please log on to SwayTVFollow.com. Click that follow button and you get to join in the conversation with Heather and I. I really, you know, the greatest thing about Sway TV is you get all this really awesome life information. And then on top of that, you get the tools that get to help you create those mindful moments that lead to this meaningful life that we're all wanting to engage in. So if Heather will stick around, I would love to share some tools. And there's actually one tool I wanted to share, Heather, that I don't really know what to do with, that you might know what to do with.
Okay.
Okay. So if everybody's on board with that, I would love to do that. And you know what? Somebody just brought me a treat.
Oh,
Yeah.
eat a treat. I'm going to
Yeah.
drink some water.
Yeah. Oh, please. This, oh my gosh, you guys right now. Oh, you have no idea.
What is it? You have to tell us.
It's matcha. It's matcha. And here we go. I'm going to do this. I get to do tech and talent today. So
Tech and talent. I'm with you. I'm with you in the chat right now.
okay. All right.
With you.
Okay, let's do.
Right
Okay, so this
here.
is what I'm drinking. I'm going to pull this up. And I don't know how many matcha lovers we have. Will this pull up in the, let me see if I can get this to pull up in the situation room here. There it is. Okay. Do you have this? Do you drink this? Or are you a matcha girl or no?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Laura said she's making s'mores tonight. And
So you can see, because I lost my feed. So I lost
Oh, you
the chat.
did?
I did. So, but are you logged on? Could I log on too?
Saham said matcha tea is green for St. Patty's Day.
Oh yes, thank you,
Woo, woo, woo.
Heather. I'm so
I'm
glad
logged-
you're doing that because
I know, I've got it right here.
Oh my gosh,
I've got it right here.
I'm gonna do too, and then we're gonna engage and see all these wonderful, wonderful human beings that we love.
Are you MC on the feed?
No, is that
okay.
Margaret Cromings on the feed?
Is it Margaret?
I don't know. I didn't text her this time, so it might be, might not be. Okay, matcha tea. Yes. Oh, Rosalinda, is that you? Matcha tea is green for St. Patrick's Day. I finally have the feed. Laura, okay, listen. Yes, you are now going to drink matcha tea. So here's what I learned about this tea. It's a ceremonial grade. Do you know about all this, Heather? Like how it's different? Like the ceremonial grade is better? Because I thought matcha was matcha, but that's not a true story.
Oh, I want to hear more about that.
Mm-hmm.
Did you put it in the feed? Where is it? I want to buy this right now.
Yeah, it's in my. So it's in my.
I got it. I got it.
Yeah, see it? This is like delicious, like overly delicious. I know that Shannon was on the chat, and Shannon, you know that if I have too much of this, I'm going to bounce off the walls, but it's so, so, so good.
Here it is.
Andrew's back. Andrew, thank you for coming back and watching and joining in with us. What did you think about forgiveness? Tell me all about it. All right, so this is what's going on here. This is like not something that I make as well as my friend Felicia, who just made it and gave it to me. Okay, Heather, this is what I wanted to pull up because, and I didn't prep you for this or anything, so.
Test time. What is it?
Let's see if this will come up. Come up with me, please. Please hold. Let's see. Do you see? How come it's not? Oh, wait. I think now it's gonna happen. Now it's gonna happen. Now. Can you guys see that? Can you see that? Do you see it?
Yep. Okay. Wait. A whole bunch of things are coming up.
Really?
Wait. No. There's a delay. I have a delay on my end.
Oh yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go back to my main.
Oh yeah. I see it.
Well, I cut out. Okay. Let me go back. Let's see. There we go. And then there we go. Tech and talent. Okay, do you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what this is?
There's sage, sweetgrass, and I can't tell because my thing is too blurry in the middle.
It's a smudge kit.
Yeah.
What do you smudge? I want to do it, but I don't know what to do. What do we do with this smudge kit?
Yeah. Smudging. Okay, here, wait, you're back. So, smudging is fantastic for energetically clearing spaces, and different First Nation tribes, different indigenous tribes from around the world have all used smoke for ceremonial purposes.
Okay.
And each of the smokes and each of the herbs that you smoke for different purposes, many times for clearing, many times for in ceremony or for manifestation purposes, like they all kind of have their own superpower, so to speak. I just lost my train of thought.
Well, while your train's ready to come back to the station,
I know.
Do you smudge for like a good thing, or do you smudge for a bad thing, or do you smudge just to clear, like?
Yeah.
Like would I say, okay, I'm gonna smudge quarterly?
Sure, you could do a big smudge quarterly. Absolutely, you could. Like for the yurt, for example, when I see clients in the yurt, I smudge before they come. And it's just a really wonderful time also for me just to sort of like, I'll set the space, light the candles, have everything going, music's going, where I'm ready to welcome my client. And the last thing I do is I'll use the smudge. I like white sage, excuse me. And that to me is also setting the space. I'm clearing anything that's kind of mine. If I've had a morning or, still being a wife, still being a stepmom, carrying that into that space with me, I'll just clear that and ask the being and ask the spirit and ask the presence of the herb itself, of the plant itself, right? To work its superpower and just to clear anything out that isn't necessary in that space, so the person can be welcomed in. It's also antibacterial, PS.
Is it?
Yeah, white sage is for sure.
Okay, well, I'm really excited because I don't have this, but I put it in my cart because I want to get it. But I really wanted to ask you about it because I wasn't sure. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I know it's cool, but I've burned sage or whatever, but this feels like a whole like system. Like
it's cool because it has a nice, beautiful box to keep it into, which is very nice for any of your ceremonial tools. Should be treated as sacred. Anything that we want to get something from.
Yeah.
Right? Like if we're like, oh, this sage is powerful and I want to get something from it, then we need to treat it sacredly. Give it a sacred space.
I love that. And this is like $25. That blows me away. That's $25 to clear your space. Okay. I love the yurt. I walked into the yurt and it really feels like otherworldly. Like whatever lived on those grounds before, whatever that space was, I really do believe that was a special land. I don't know anything about it, but just being in the structure, on the yurt, on the land, but you really are good at creating space inside there.
Thank you.
And so I wanted to bring these candles up because you use candles, right?
Yes, I do.
And of course, if something says meditate on it, I'm a little bit of a sucker for it. And I have to be, wise about that. But I absolutely, I have ordered this and I'm waiting. So if any of you guys out there are going to order this, maybe we could like open it together and have a look at that. I'm reading the chat here and see, so funny. Be the yurt is what I always say. Okay, MC, I don't know who you are, but if I could be Heather's yurt, I would be Heather's yurt, and I would be very happy. So
MC, do we know you?
I don't. I mean, the MC that we know has been on here before, but it's been a while.
Has?
Yeah, she was awesome. Laura says this is her new favorite joke. Right? Be the yurt. So I absolutely love this candle. And tell me, Heather, why do you use candles to set the what is it that makes the space? What does the candle do to the space?
Well, for ritual and ceremony, candles amplify something. Or they light up something. So it's like, I have an altar in the yurt, and at different times I have different representations of the divine on the altar. And so in lighting a candle at the feet of something, say I have this beautiful, I'm not Catholic, but I have this beautiful Mother Mary in the yurt, and she's just that beautiful, compassionate mother with her eyes closed and her arms open. And she is the field of acceptance. She's like, come at me.
Right. I got you.
You don't have, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got you. You don't have to have the right outfit on or
right.
money in the bank. I don't care. And I'll light a candle at the feet of that medicine to amplify that medicine within the yurt. Does that make sense?
It does. And it doesn't matter, like, could it be this candle? Does it matter what candle that you light at the feet?
It doesn't matter at all. I mean, there's like amazing candles that are infused with different, because I can't see this.
Yeah. So this one, this is, I am, when you put sage and lavender together, can't speak, sage and lavender together, I love, love, love that. And these are just, I like the soy wax candle. It's just fantastic. And I can't wait to get this one. Now, if you're at home and you're creating a space, let's say you don't have a lot of space, right? And you want to create a space. You know, I think that's what I love candles, because I almost feel like candles transform, even if it's a corner of your whatever, you know, your living room or your den, or you know, or I used to live in a studio in Venice years and years ago, right here in LA, and you know, there's not much space there, but you could you literally take like a corner. And when you get, you know, and I want to talk about some of the other tools in here too, but you get the candle, and you really have to resonate with the candle. Don't you think so?
Definitely. Absolutely. You know what? And I love these candles with the wooden wick, because it sounds like you have a fire in your fireplace.
Does it? I'm waiting for this
crackle.
candle.
I have one right now. They crackle. They crackle like you have a fire in your fireplace.
Okay, I've never experienced that. But I do, like, okay, Christmas time comes and I get a ton of candles. People give me candles. And I actually have a friend that makes candles, and those candles I love, because she picks my brain all year, and she knows what smells I like, and she knows the vibe, and like she gets me the candle. But then I have all these other candles, and they're great candles, and some of them are quite expensive. And then like I get to the whole year goes by and I haven't lit one of them. And then I end up donating them. And I think that you just really have to resonate with the candle, because then I end up just not using. I use, the same candle over and over again in my sacred space, because it's like when I light it, it's like you said something just now, and I might mess up your words a little bit, but like something that of value we treat well, or no, like.
Oh, treat it as sacred. If you want something from it, if it has something to give you, you should treat it sacred.
Okay. So if you want something from it, you should treat it sacred. And that's like, I think that's how I feel about the candle. And I have a couple places in my home that I do that. My chat is back on screen. Yes, I love it.
Laura was trying to figure out how to purchase it. She didn't see it.
Oh, okay. It's in there, Laura. It is in my, I don't know if the word is carousel or cart, but yeah, it's in there. It's in there, Laura. I will help you navigate that later too, if you want. But yeah, it's in there.
You know what, Laura? You asked it, like, how do you resonate with a candle? For me, it's the scent. It has to be the scent of the candle.
Right.
It has to. It has to. There's like something in the scent, or
Well, and that kind of goes along the lines of this, now that you're talking about that. So when I was doing my training at the Chopra Center years and years ago, I don't have it here, but one of the things, and this is like that whole neurological training that we do. Is this the right one? Let's see. Hold on. Navigating. Yeah, this is me. So when you're starting your mindfulness practice or your meditation practice, and you set up like your little corner, your table, or your little sacred space, they always talk about associating that, like the smell of that candle with that meditation practice. So that when you go to do that, it kind of calls you into the space, like your brain starts to become programmed for this is the space that this happens in.
Yeah.
And I feel like we would use incense to do that, or candles to create that experience. And the other thing I loved about the yurt when I went was, and you guys go to, where can they see the yurt? Because I really want them to see like the inside, like you got great pictures of the yurt. Where can they go see the yurt online?
I know I'm just in the process of redoing the Mama Yurt website, but if they follow me on Instagram at Heather Lindemann on Instagram.
Can you spell that for them?
Yes.
And I'm going to promote Heather on my Instagram too at MMMindful, but go ahead and tell them how to.
I'll put it.
Oh yeah,
I'll
put it in the chat. Perfect.
I'll put it in the chat.
Put it in the chat, and then. But what I loved about the yurt was, you walked in and she had everything set up in this circle. This was like a big circle. Like you felt this yurt is enormous, but it was cozy because she had blankets and meditation pillows set in such a way that it was so inviting. And I think that when you're creating your space at home, when you're creating this mindfulness space at home, think about what textures you like. What do you like to feel on your skin? What do you like to touch? What colors do you like to see? Because this, again, is you're kind of rewiring your brain to this space so that you're already kind of a third of the way there. Once you just sit in the space and you haven't even started anything. Your practice starts by what you're actually seeing. So I pulled up this blanket here because it's literally like $15.99, and it's the softest, most awesome blanket that I've washed a million times, and it's still fabulous and it feels fabulous. My meditation space I kind of copied what Heather was kind of created at the yurt, with the opportunity, because when you sit in stillness, and Heather, tell me if you experience this, that sometimes you get cool, right? Your body temperature changes.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Even when I'm doing breath work with people, or if we're doing any kind of hypnosis or trance work, they could like start off and be like, "No, I'm warm," and I'm like, "Well, we'll keep a blanket close by." And I love just the softest blankets for meditation, for journaling and deep work.
Well, I think I was one of those people that would be like, "No, I'm good. And then you get into it, and then you get interrupted because your body's calling out for something, and you're losing focus and you're losing track of where you want to be. So I was one of those people. So that's my blanket, right? I use that blanket every day. I'm going to share with you my yummy, yummy, yummy blanket. This is the one that I use and I hope it comes up. Does it come up? It's like a white blanket. Do you guys see that? Do you see that, Heather?
I am not seeing it.
Let's see if I can tap it again and see if it comes up. They call this a decorative blanket, and it's like $18.99, but it's like faux fur, and it's white, and it's fluffy, and it's fantastic. And you guys, in California, I don't know what happened, but it's freezing.
Freezing.
It's freezing, like freezing. I mean, today's different if you're in the sun. If you're in the shade, I think it's still pretty cold. But it's been so chilly that this has been my blanket. Like, I feel like Linus. Do you guys remember Charlie Brown with, I don't know, I might be dating myself. Yeah. Laura, you don't see the blanket either? Hold on. Please hold.
I got it now.
Tech and talent. It says,
but I think
Amazon customer started following. I would love to know who you are. You guys go to swaytvfollow.com. Make sure you hit that follow button so you can engage with us in the chat. Now that we have the chat back, I'm super, super excited. I wish we had it earlier because, I don't know. I like when I know that you guys are there. And but I know you were. I'm looking at the numbers, so I want to thank you. So let's see, Laura. I see it's small. Okay. Well, we're gonna try something else. But hey, Laura, I'm gonna I'm going to hook you up with all of the information as to how to get this. So those are my two. So here's my space, Heather. It's like I've got my blankets, I've got my candle.
Yeah.
I have the incense, but I'll tell you, I like incense in a big space.
Mm-hmm.
If I burn the incense, I try to like open, because I'm thinking about my space upstairs, which is a little bit tighter. I like to open the sliding glass door a little bit because it does feel overwhelming to me.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, just one little leaf of white sage, like burning just one little leaf of sage, because it stays, the scent kind of stays in the room, and it's very clean smelling. It's not like heavy.
Right.
I love sage for meditation.
Okay.
And the sage bundles are great, but sometimes I'll actually buy the bundles and I'll take the string off,
right,
and take it apart, because it's a lot of medicine, and it's a strong medicine. You just need a little.
Yeah, it is.
You know, we really don't need to be like, those sage sticks are meant for outside and big ceremonial purposes. People walk around their house with them, and
I'm so glad you said that, because my daughter has, you know, she's got her. There's a place in La Jolla. Laura, you'll have to tell me what the place is in the chat. Incense burns your eyes, Rosalinda. Yeah, so you have to find what works for you. So you might be a candle girl. Like you might get a candle that smells just like, because I love sandalwood. That's just something I grew up with. I think it's just in my bones. And so if it's something like that, then I would get like a candle that smells like sandalwood. So we have this really wonderful store in La Jolla, and it's brand new. I think they opened maybe 5 months ago. And my daughter's obsessed. She goes down there and she gets, crystals and candles and sage, and she's, doing the sage thing. So I think I might recommend that we just do like a leaf and
a leaf, just a little
leaf, and see how that goes.
Yeah.
So there is one other candle I want to bring up. I forgot about this candle, and
I did not know we were going to get to shop today. This is killer.
Are you shopping, Heather?
Well, yeah, of course I am.
So Rosalinda loves candles and essential oils. Yes.
We get to talk about forgiveness and shop.
I know, but I want to talk about, is there a forgiveness smell? Like, is there something that opens us up at all?
What is the scent of forgiveness?
Heather, don't talk about it. Heather and I are going to create a candle, scent of forgiveness. We'll put it on Amazon and sell it. Scent of
100%.
forgiveness. No. But I mean, I guess because aren't certain smells, like, don't they open you up? Like, don't they say like vanilla is supposed to make you hungry or something?
Yeah, well, probably rose. I would say rose would
feels
be good
forgiving.
Forgiveness,
I
because
love rose.
It's the heart. Rose is my favorite scent.
So something that resonates with the heart.
Yeah, rose oil, frankincense is like a holy oil.
Yeah, So maybe if you got somebody to forgive, you might
just like douse them.
No, douse yourself.
Douse
Nobody
yourself
doused themselves with frankincense. I wanted to bring this one other candle up, and I don't know if you guys can see it. It's a manifestation candle, and again, it's got sage, which I like it, and they're calling it a smudge candle for house energy cleansing. Banishes negative energy and purification. I'll be honest with you, I ordered this candle because I like how it looks, and I didn't even see all that other stuff that they wrote there. And this candle is like $14.99. Again, these are just things to enhance your mindful practice, things to create your space of well-being, because we have to decide, how do we want to show up? And then we have to support ourselves in that showing up. And what we talked about today was supporting yourself is knowing yourself. And knowing yourself is being in those quiet spaces to ask the questions, right? So when something arises, like we were talking about, when we have lack of forgiveness for something, that's like a sign from your body. That's like intelligence saying, hey, something's out of whack here. And it says to you, okay, go within and maybe ask some questions like we talked about today. And I want to just, Heather, do you use a weighted blanket ever?
I do. I use weighted blanket for breath work.
Really? Okay. So yeah. I use weighted blanket for sleep work.
Oh, for sleep work. Yes.
Do you guys see the weighted blanket that I use for sleep work? How does that work for breath work? Does it just
People
kind of
love
calm?
it.
Is it a calming?
Yeah, it's a calming. It aids in relaxation. It helps people to feel, you know, like something that's very close to them.
Do you feel, I feel held.
Yeah.
I feel held with the with the weighted blanket.
We have like a weighted blanket joke at our house. Like, you know, if somebody's a little anxious or kind of scratchy, it's like, do you need the weighted blanket?
Oh my gosh, I'm going to implement that at home.
Oh, you got a teenager girl. You should right away.
I should just wrap her up in a weighted blanket,
just
like
duct tape,
24/7.
and then she'll have something to forgive in you.
Yes.
And she can come take the class.
Yeah. I mean, you guys, this weighted blanket is $39.99, and this is when this calms my nervous system. So if I'm
This might be the weighted blanket I have.
Well, does
it have a cover?
I don't know if this one has a cover.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mine,
these things are great.
Yeah, mine does not have. No, this is the one. Yeah, no, I don't think this one has a cover. But if you guys haven't tried a weighted blanket, I would try a weighted blanket and see. I mean, if you know somebody that has a weighted blanket, at first it feels a little bit like strange, but then after a while, it honestly feels like a hug. It feels like you're being held, and I highly, highly recommend that for your meditation space or at night when you're going to bed. So how many of you watched me drink out of this bottle? It came up, so I had to do it because it's pretty funny. So I got this bottle delivered because of Amazon, because I watched Eden and everybody drinking all this water, and I'm not a water drinker. And so I thought, you know, I'm going to go ahead and order this half-gallon bottle, because they're walking around with full-gallon bottles. I'm like, who does that? Like, first of all, I don't want to carry that around. Second of all, I wouldn't drink all of it. So I started this on Sunday, and Sunday was a little difficult. I kept having to look at the bottle, and I was like, okay. I'm like, all right, where are we at with the bottle? And I'd be like, here. And then I'd be like, here. And like, it was just kind of a struggle to get through it. Monday was easier. Tuesday, it was noon, and I'd already finished it.
Oh, good for you.
I'd already finished the whole bottle. And so my goal is just to continue with the half-gallon. Today I'm going to kill it. I'm going to absolutely finish it. So this just popped up, but I'm going to say, you know what? I don't see a benefit immediately right now, but I'm going to stick with this drinking water thing because, I mean, it's got to do something. Everyone talks about it, right? Doctors tell you, drink water. How much water are you drinking? You know, so it's got to be doing something somewhere. So I recommend that. But what I want to talk to Heather about is, where is it? Where's the meditation cushion? We had a meditation cushion, but I don't see it in here. Okay, Heather, let's talk. I don't see it in here, but I will definitely have it in here, you guys. But I want to talk about the importance of sitting in meditation, because I think some people, I think there's different philosophies, right? So I've heard you have to sit a certain way, and even if it's uncomfortable, you have to, like, you know, tough it out. But here in Western society, we're sitting in chairs all the time. We're driving in cars all the time. So our bodies are not used to sitting on the floor. Our bodies are not, our hips aren't as open. Talk to me a little bit about that and what you do in the yurt. Like, when people are like, how do they get comfortable?
Well, what I use, so when we work together in the yurt, especially when we're in groups, you have to be comfortable. So it isn't about like sitting up perfectly straight and being really contained, because that's like even a whole other conversation, because that's actually can be very masculine, you know, like fully containing and sitting still and all those kinds of things. And since it's feminine circle, women's circle, I have these big cushy back jacks. They're like, I think they're like gaming chairs, but they're gray velvet plush back jacks. They're gorgeous. I got them from Amazon.
Oh my gosh, put them in the chat. What are they called? I'll put them in the chat.
Let me look. Let me look.
If you can't tell me, because then I'll put them in my thing, and then I can recommend them if that's what you're using. And I've seen them, but I don't have one.
I know. Let me find it here. Anyway, so I use those big, beautiful back jacks, and then I also have these yoga bolsters that I have people put underneath the bottom of the back jacks. So it makes like a little lounge chair. I mean, it is like a plush experience. How come this is not showing up? Hold on.
I had a friend that said, I went to meditation. Okay, Laura wants to see the chair. Laura, I really think you would benefit from this chair. No joke. Like, I've seen it. I sat in it, and I think that it doesn't take up a lot of space, which is awesome.
Okay.
It just gives you that back support. I have a friend that went to India to study meditation, and she was scolded for not sitting up straight and on the hard floor, and it was sad because it turned her off of the experience from it. And I think that what you and I are saying is really be in a space where your body's not calling out for you.
100%.
Be in a space where you can connect, and whatever that is.
Okay, I'm no tech genius, but I just figured this out.
You did. Well, Heather's also talent in tech today.
I just didn't know we were going to get to shop. I'm so excited.
I know. And look, I see things coming up. I don't know if you do, but like I need some more like tech practice. I'm gonna
just put it in
the
chat.
Okay, great. And there it is. Laura, tell me if you see that, because I'm gonna add that in my chat, in my carousel, because that looks absolutely fantastic.
Yep. I have those in a really light gray. And then my yoga bolsters that I stick underneath the chair. I'm going to find that right now too.
Okay, awesome. While you do that, I'm going to bring up the 4 agreements, which I do all the time. You guys are going to get so tired of the 4 agreements, or you're going to just have to read it. You're going to be like, all right, I want Michelle to stop. I'm going to read the 4 agreements. I'll put that there. Let's see if it comes up. Fabulous. The 4 agreements. One of the agreements, I just want to say right now, I mean, all of them, but the first agreement, I think, is be impeccable with your words. I think that's the first agreement. And for me, that was huge because I was such a talker. I used to have to fill space with words. I had trouble just being in the space of stillness. So if someone wasn't talking, then I would chime in, and that was not being impeccable with my words. And when I started being impeccable with my words, I felt more peace, and I think people paid attention more because, it was important. What I had to say was of value. Okay, is this the bolster that you use on your...
You know what? It's not. That's a silly thing.
But is this your meditation cushion?
This is my meditation cushion.
Okay, I think this is the one that I thought I had in here. But
the Samaya.
Yeah. Why do you love this one?
These, you know what? They're buckwheat, and they have this like super yummy feel to them. And when you sit on them, even if you're sitting like in Vajrasana, so you're like sitting like you're like on a horse, like that, or if you're sitting cross-legged, they just are super, super comfortable. And I have a few of them because I have one for everybody that comes to the group. And sometimes I have, like you said, our hips are really tight. My left hip is really tight. So I'll sit on a cushion cross-legged, and I'll put another cushion underneath my left knee
to give a little break.
Because it feels supported that way.
Right.
But this is my yoga bolster. Hold on.
What I love about the buckwheat is that it molds to you.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Right? So it's not fighting your body. Like, I feel like it molds to you and it supports you. I feel like that about the weighted blanket too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Laura, exactly. The natural feel of the buckwheat too. Absolutely. And Laura is fantastic. And when things get a little bit more open and a little bit better, we are definitely coming to Mama Yurt in Vista to visit you. And so
let's do a show from there.
We absolutely 100%. And then I want you to put your website in the chat again.
I did, but it hid it.
It hid it. Oh, okay. Well, then
it hides it.
Okay, so I'll do that. I'll do that on my thing. Okay, so tell me about this bolster.
All right. So what I do.
I thought
okay?
it was going to be round.
No, come with me on this journey.
Okay.
So you're sitting in that big plushy back jack. Okay.
Okay.
And you kind of lean back in it. So there's a space between the floor, right? You lean back. And so now the back jack,
Right.
and you stick that bolster underneath it.
You're not going to fall back?
No. And then you stick another bolster behind your knees.
Holy
and you are in
cow.
like a freaking lounge chair.
That's
how we work.
Yeah, well, no wonder like everyone's getting in touch with their souls over there because you're just like in the most amazing space.
Well, we do a lot of writing too. We do a lot of journal prompts, and you gotta be comfortable if you want people to sit on the floor for a couple hours. You just have to.
So I want to show you. I mean, okay, wait. So sitting on the floor for a couple of hours, if someone is starting their meditation practice or starting their mindfulness practice, and let's say they've created this little nook, they've got their back jack, they've got their blanket, they've got their candle, or incense, whatever works for them.
And their smudge, all of their smudge.
They've got their smudge box. So they've got this really awesome space set there. What kind of, let's say I'm just starting. How long should I expect myself to be in this mindful space?
Oh God, that's your expertise, girl.
Well, it is, but I want to know what you would give like a brand new meditator. Like, Heather, oh my God, do I have to sit there for 30 minutes? What should I do?
Oh hell no, I would say 5 minutes, like a brand new 3 to 5 minutes,
yes.
right?
Yeah, we're on the same page with that. You guys,
on a timer. Like, oh, we should have shared this thing. I freaking love this
What's
timer.
that thing?
Although this is better for productivity than it is for meditation because it has a little bit of a, alarm sound. Okay. We set the thing and then we.
You don't jolt yourself out of the space.
I know, but this thing I set for myself when I'm writing I have a new offering coming out and I'm writing my sales page and my program and all the things we have to do. And I'll sit with myself when I'm in complete resistance about doing the work and I'll turn this thing on. I got this from Amazon. I love this. I give these things to people for Christmas.
I feel like I need one of those.
I love it. And you just turn it on, you sit it and it sets itself for 30 minutes or whatever. And
then it buzzes. But I like that it's engaging, right? So like you're doing it. You're like engaging and like, okay, I'm in it with you.
Yeah.
And then it goes off.
So I love that.
So set like a chime on your phone or whatever, but like 2 minutes, and then move to 3 minutes, and then move to 4, and incrementally grow in that space. Here's what's amazing about the work that Heather and I do. Time doesn't mean anything really. It's bendable and multidimensional and all this. So I can sit in meditation for 45 minutes one day. And I can sit in meditation for 5 minutes one day. And in that 5 minutes, I may have a deeper, I may feel like I'm in there for hours, where I could sit in 45 minutes or I could be there for 5 minutes, but it takes me so deep and I have such an experience. I come out refreshed, ready to go. I feel a little bit lighter, and I could sit for 45 minutes and come out and not have that experience. So it's not really the time, it's the intention and the attention and the ability to be in the space. Yeah. That 45-minute meditation, sometimes I'm 20 minutes trying to turn it off, just kind of like settle down. Where sometimes I just sit and I smell that candle and I've got my blanket and I'm there.
And drop in.
And it's fantastic. So I'm going to ask Heather a couple more questions and then she's been amazing. Heather, you've been on with me for 2 hours.
My bladder knows it too.
Okay, well, we're going to let you go. So I'm going to ask you one question. What time of day is your favorite time to meditate?
Oh, morning for sure.
Morning
for sure.
All right, awesome.
The best time of day for me to start my day.
It's a wonderful way to start the day. I also do morning, so here's my challenge to everybody. If you guys want to start a meditation practice, I would say start in the morning. And yes, Rosalinda, comfortability is the key. So you guys, I want to give you a big shout out for joining Heather and I today to talk about this really important topic and to take this journey with us and to take some of these teachings and wisdom into your life And I want to thank Heather so much for your enormous contribution to Sway TV, to the greater consciousness, and really just helping me get the word out there about creating the life that we want to live. So I want to thank you so much. And we will be connecting. So do you want to say anything to our fantastic group of people that follow us?
Well, first and foremost to you, Michelle, thank you for being in service, and thank you for saying yes to your gifts, and thank you for being here with us and sharing your radiance and your wisdom with us, because you know, I love you so much. I'm so grateful for you, and I know everyone else feels the same. And thanks for everybody for showing up. I mean, this is a deep topic, and we were able to do it and shop at the same time, and that's pretty unique, and that's Sway TV.
It seriously doesn't get better than that. So
I mean,
we love you, and hopefully we'll see you again.
Bye, everybody. Thanks, Michelle. Thank you, Sway TV.
Bye, Heather.
Bye, everybody.
Wonderful joining you, Heather. Oh, nice. Do you guys love Heather? She is fantastic. Laura, are you still with me on this? Are you still with me on the chat? If you are, tell me that you're still here. I'm more than happy to share all where you can get all these goodies from with you later on. Easton says bye. I love that. I do that with my daughter. Bye. Yes, so Laura, I'm going to call you later tonight, and we're going to go over this stuff, because we're going to create an awesome space for you. And I know how much you love Amazon, and I know how many Amazon packages I see outside your door. So this will be easy for you. Yes, I'm calling you out, but I know you love it all and you use it all. So yes, we'll get Heather to do a Let's Sway, 100%. Hi, Steven. Are you following us? What did you guys think about today? It was a lot of information. I don't have a giveaway tonight, but you know what? Producer Andy always has something up his sleeve. You guys are going to have to tune in tomorrow, and I'm sure he's got something super, super fantastic. Yeah, the giveaway was the knowledge. The giveaway was, we changed your life today. You may not know it, but we planted a seed for you. Easton O. Yes, because we love you. Stephen, you missed the interview. That's not a problem. Go to Sway TV replay, and I was so into what we were doing today. I forgot to put this up. I think I only put it up twice. But if you go to swaytvreplay.com, do you know that you guys can see, yes, Laura, the giveaway was the free therapy. If you go to swaytvreplay.com, you guys can see all the stuff that we've done in the past. And I'm going to tell you that there are so many awesome hosts and guests that we have that it is absolutely 100% worth it to go back and check out the things that we've done. And tomorrow, okay, if you want to talk about giveaways, and I'm sure there'll be a giveaway tomorrow, because again, producer Andy is always giving away here at swaytv.com, swaytvlive.com. So tomorrow at 7:10 a.m. So you guys start your day with Sway TV tomorrow. We're talking 7:10 a.m. in the morning. So I would say get ready to join in like at around 7. So you're chilled, you got all your stuff. There's a little margin of error there, and you'll still be on time. So get ready. It's called Get Ready with Me, and that's with Candace. So all of our hosts have different personalities, and they're all amazing. So you guys I want you to check everyone out. We really, really have an awesome team here at Sway TV Live. You know, producer Andy has this fantastic vision about bringing you not only knowledge and wisdom, but the tools to get you there through Amazon that has really, really supporting us and being able for us to share what we love and what makes our life special with you so that you have access to it. There's so much information out there today. You can Google something and a million things come up. But if you want to know what's working for certain people and help narrow down the field a little bit, watch Sway TV, watch our guests, and they will tell you what's working for them. Like real life experience that these products and tools actually work. And not only that, is you could like, what wisdom do we get today? It was fantastic. So at 7:10 a.m. tomorrow, it's going to be Get Ready With Me, and that's going to be Candace. And then 9:10 a.m., it's On the Daily. And then, Andy, who's on the daily? Shayla. Wow. Shayla is a powerhouse. Amazing. She's the perfect way to start your day. And that's at 9:10. So if you can't do the 7:10, jump on at 9:10 and meet Shayla. And then, do you know when my stuff from the carousel also? I don't know, Easton, but we will get back to you. We will find out and get back to you. So there's something at 7:10, something at 9:10. And then if you miss that, 11:40 a.m., Mind, Body, Spirit with Dr. Katie? Dr. Kate, which I have not met Dr. Kate. I'm going to have to check that out. I think I will log on tomorrow at 11:40 and join the Mind, Body, Spirit. So, oh, that's right. Producer Andy is on it. I'm actually going to be back tomorrow. You guys, I drive 2.5 hours to LA once a week to come to the studios to shoot Sway TV live, because the family here at Sway TV is so uplifting and so energetic. It's like I need to dip in the pool of the fun so that we can do all this together, and it's pretty amazing. So I'm going to have an opportunity tomorrow too, and I'll tell you, it is an opportunity because it's an opportunity to connect with you, and it's an opportunity to help share and learn from you. And tomorrow we'll be at 1:10. So look, this is what we've got so far: 7:10, 9:10, 11:40, and 1:10. And we're not done, because at 5:10 tomorrow there's On the Go with Tambi. And if any of you, hi Stella, oh my gosh, I love you, I heart you. If any of you have met Tambi virtually or in person, you will know that this woman is so energetic and her energy is so infectious that you will enjoy yourself and have some giggles and laughs and fun. And that's going to be at 5:10. I can't think of a better way to close out your day. I mean, even if you jump on the 7:10 and get ready with me with Candace and end your day at 5:10 On the Go with Tambi. I mean, that's a wonderful open and end to your day, but there's really yummy, yummy stuff in the middle. And I hope to see you guys at 1:10 tomorrow for Navigating Life. This is kind of a great platform, don't you think? And we need you. We need you to go to swaytvfollow.com. If you want to keep us on and keep us going and get this awesome, wonderful information, meet all these beautiful, uplifting personalities that help you create more meaningful moments that lead to a more meaningful life, please go to swaytvfollow.com. Click that follow button. Talk to all your friends and your family. Let them know about Sway TV. It is really cutting edge what we're doing here, and I'm just even learning about this whole world. My world is mindfulness. Producer Andy's world is different than my world, and I'm learning from him every day. This is new stuff. You guys are on the ground floor of something big, 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 right? The fact that you're in the chat, the fact that you are engaging, the fact that you are following, this is ground floor stuff. So get all your friends and family, tell everybody that you know, swaytvlive.com. And I'm going to tell you, if it's not mindfulness, it's going to be Get Ready With Me. It's going to be On the Daily. It's going to be On the Go. There are so many opportunities on swaytvlive.com for everyone in every part of your life, and whatever you're experiencing or whatever your challenge is, you will find something that resonates with you on swaytvlive.com. And I'm excited to see you there. And a big thank you guys for today. Really, really awesome day. Does anybody have any questions in the chat that I can answer before we sign off? I know we got to sign off. Like, look, it's 5:17. Producer Andy, like he's producing. He's got things to do. Although I'll tell you, Sway TV is at the top of his list and always on his mind. He's always thinking of fantastic things for you guys and always looking for something amazing to give away. So don't take your eyes off Sway TV, because producer Andy just gave away, what was it, PlayStation 5s last week. So you never know what's going to come up next. Yes, that's right. I didn't say it today, though. Yes, please get Michelle to 1 million followers. I always say we have 95,000 followers and I have 95,000 viewers. And somebody called me out on it, and I eventually had to tell them I was just telling a future truth. So we can do that. We can manifest it. So you're welcome, Shannon. I'm so glad you joined. All right, you guys, we're going to sign off from Sway TV Live. Remember, get everyone to go to swaytvfollow.com, hit that follow button, and join the Sway TV family. We love you. Signing off.
Make sure you guys follow Sway TV. Follow Sway right here. Ooh, it's this way, sorry. Corey says, thank you, Sway TV. Shakira says, thank you, Sway. Yes, guys, it is so much fun. We love Sway TV.
We're here all the time streaming live. We're sharing great products. We're doing great interviews and amazing giveaways.
Amazon, we love you, Amazon.
So grateful for you guys and for Sway TV.
I've had such a great time with all of you.
Shop-attainment all the time.
It is a girl's dream come true for someone like me to be able to give you dating advice and shopping all in one platform.
Amazon Live, woo! Let's sway.
Let's sway. Let's sway. Let's sway.
Let's sway.
Let's sway.
Let's sway.
Let's sway.
Let's sway.
Let's sway.
Let's sway.
Let's sway.
Let's sway.
Let's sway. Let's sway. Let's sway. Let's sway.
Let's sway.